BYDFi is a crypto exchange on desktop and mobile where you can spot trade, futures trade, use leverage tokens, and copy the trades of top trade. There's hundreds of crypto available on their spot exchange, as well as a free test account so you can practice futures trading without getting wrecked. BYDFi.
Hello everybody, welcome back. Let's have a look at Bitcoin. We'll have a look at, I suppose, the Dixie and those sort of things. So far, everything working out exactly as expected. I said yesterday, very likely to be a green day, and we got our green day. Today, obviously, we're continuing with that green day. So yeah, green. So just as expected, exactly as expected. You know why I'm saying that, don't you? That's what Carl the Moon says. Yeah, but I basically did say that. I remember, actually, I got a comment yesterday. It's really funny, to be honest with you. A comment on the YouTube. I said yesterday, I think, yeah, it should be a green day today, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, a couple of hours after the video, someone goes, "It's red." I'm like, oh my God. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? I just watched the video, looked back at the prices, and they were still red. No, the colours were red. Your colours were red. It was bouncing from support and then closed green. So it was a green day. I don't want to be one of those people, but I mean, I am amazed sometimes at some people. I'm just amazed at some people. Anyway, I'll leave it there. There's nothing, I don't want to be derogatory, but yes, at least now you can see the colour green. You can recognise that it is now and was a green day. Right, so we continue with the green and moving up to the resistance over here, 71,500, basically the top of this range. Break that, basically I would expect a 74,000 all-time high, and surpassing that all-time high. Excuse me. We are above the 0 point here. The momentum's okay. It's nothing special. I wouldn't say it's anything particularly to write home about. But as far as trend is concerned, at the moment, trend is fine. Fresh golden cross here taking place on the simple moving averages on the 4-hourly. So, long story short, Bitcoin looks good. You've got one level of resistance to take out, 71,500. And once that's done, up to 74. And then, to be honest, at that point, big breakout, I would say. So looking over at the Dixie, we got that move yesterday on the Dixie, and again, exactly as expected. We saw ourselves move up to the top of the range, 105.3, so that's where we are at right now, and still green. Obviously CPR came through hotter than expected, not hotter than I expected. It came through exactly as expected, but hotter than what they expected, which is, to be honest with you, I don't know what it is that they expect. When you see something like oil prices basically just doing this, what do you expect? Of course, inflation is going to be running higher. When you see a run on oil over the last, since the beginning of the year, oil is up 30%. You need to factor at least some of that into what inflation is. We're in the 80s now. We're going to the 90s. We might even be going beyond that. So, that's what I expect. Not straight away, not immediately. I had positions in oil. I was, if you watch my channel, I was talking about, buying particularly interesting dips on oil, which were based around the weekly 200 simple moving average, or all around here. And I was quite clear about it. I said, look, buy any of this. And, but I'm more or less out of oil now. Because that, as much as derivatives are good, they make you a load of money, you don't really want to be hanging around in them for too long. I was in this one for a couple of months. Quite a lot of money I made on this oil trade. Exactly as expected. Right, so that is that. The Dixie is the Dixie, and it's all working out as planned. Let's have a think about the S&P. So S&P 500 futures market. And what we're seeing is continuous movement down below the Bollinger Band itself. It's not broken down, I would say, and is gone bearish, but it's losing its formation, which has always been a buy the dip, because it's curling over here. We might be looking for a reaction around 5,092, the 50 exponential. Might see a reaction around there, and it's at that point where we decide whether or not this is going to be a lower high or a continuation. Personally, I believe strongly that the S&P and all stocks are due for a correction anyway. I've been saying that since December. but they haven't yet corrected. So we've got to keep our eyes on the prize. With the Dixie moving the way it has done, I think it's only a matter of time before it breaks out. However, this is a resistance for the Dixie, and if the Dixie does get a rejection here, fine. We would look for, I suppose, a bit more upside on stocks. So to continue with yesterday's expectations, I expect a resistance today on the Dixie, and then continuation on the short term for Bitcoin and stocks. But again, complacency will kill you. So I still believe it's a buy the dip, sell the rip, more or less across the board. As we get closer and closer to the halving, what are we, 8 days, 9 days away? I'm not entirely sure. Basically just a week away. I really do not want to be sitting in too much, if any, trades that I'm uncertain of. Certainly won't be sitting in any trades that are not profitable. But I'm going to be taking as much profit as possible, regardless of the price, to be honest with you, to be in a bit more of a defensive stance for when that halving takes place. Because it might mark the end of the run, to be honest. It might do that. Right, I'll leave with you there. Thank you for watching. If you want to join the Patreon, links in the description below. We've got a Telegram as well. Otherwise, I just hope you have a nice day. Take it easy.